With Fall Guys becoming free to play last month, a bunch of new players have joined the game, and for the most part, besides some iconic Mario games, this is probably their first battle royale platformer. I know you guys get that feeling whenever you make it to the finals, you become nervous and just panic, which indirectly kills you because you blatantly walk off the platform in Battle Blast. I know that feeling all too well, and not so much the nervousness, just me walking off the damn platform. So in this video, I'm going to be doing a beginner's guide on how to be able to win every single final round map and different strategies you can take to make things easier on yourself with each of these maps. I say easier, but this game for the most part is hard as balls to win, so most of this stuff will take a bit of practice, but once you get it, you will be able to win more, if not all your Fall Guys games, if you're good enough. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you like the video at the end, and comment down below what your favorite final map is and why. I'll be reading your comments to see what they are and why you like them. But that's enough hype for the video for now, because with the intro out of the way, let's get to the rundown. So since we just talked about it, let's make it the first map we go over, and that is Blastball. I would say that for most people, this is probably one of the hardest final rounds to get a grip on if you have no idea what you're doing or if you don't have a game plan to begin with, and when the match starts you're basically screwed. So let's go over the initial strategy first before we get into the mechanics. The usual game plan that almost everyone follows is that when the round starts you want to be consistently moving around the map while using the bombs to eliminate the other players. But many people that play this mode for the first time usually throw the bombs at other people to eliminate them earlier on in the game. But what if I told you that there's another way to eliminate players with the bombs other than throwing them? How about instead of throwing the bombs at people like everyone will be doing right away, you pick up a bomb and while in hand walk up to someone and let it explode. You will not be harmed in any way, but the other person will be sent flying, and if you do it while on the edge of the stage, they will almost guaranteed to be knocked off. You also want to avoid the middle of the stage at all times, as everyone will be throwing bombs in that direction and there's a higher chance that you will be hit with multiple blasts at once, or you just walk off the stage in the middle. And once you get to the final stage of the round, where there will probably be 4 people left, you want to absolutely stay away from the middle and use one of the string of platforms as your home base, which will be at the pockets where the balls will spawn. At that point, you want to be throwing the balls to other people and dodge the ones being thrown at you. A mechanic you can use to your advantage is jump throwing the balls. A lot of people think that throwing the balls while jumping and diving is a good idea, but that just makes the ball go way too far and not hit anyone. But if you just jump forward and then throw it, it's more likely to hit someone, as it won't go straight off the stage as if you were to jump and dive throw. You can also save yourself from being eliminated by jumping over the bombs instead of running away from them, because this will explode you straight up in the air instead of blasting you sideways, which will result in you being eliminated. And the final strategy you can use, and it's pretty helpful, is during the early and mid phase of the round, you can grab someone near you with a bomb that's trying to blast you and make them drop the bomb. Like every other game mode in this game that involves grabbing an object, if you grab the person while they're holding onto something, the object will fly straight out of their hands, and in this case the bomb they're holding will not go off near you and probably somewhere else, or it'll fly right off the stage. If you use these tips, you will have a greater advantage than everyone else in the game, but honestly it varies from game to game, but as long as you have a game plan to start with, you will have a higher chance of winning than someone who has no idea what they're doing. The next map we're gonna go over is everyone's favorite finale, Hexagon. The main mechanic of this, that is mostly used later in the game, is the hopping technique, where you jump on each platform one by one, but most of the time people panic and start jumping really fast, which wastes the platform. What you want to do is, when you land on one of the platforms, stand there for half a second and the platform will then blink. Once it blinks, you want to then jump to the next platform and continue the strategy. However, if you were to jump and dive onto each hexagon, you won't have to wait out that half a second, because by the time your character gets back up, you'll then be forced to instantly jump to the next tile. And now with that explanation out of the way, once the game starts, you want to jump to the empty platforms available at the very top, because once the round starts, everyone will start on starting platforms and there should be free ones that you can jump on, which will save you a little time, and if you're up there long enough, some other people below you may fall off instantly, which makes it easier. But if you do manage to fall to a level with several others, you want to get rid of as many tiles as possible before falling and cut off other people so they fall with you. Alternatively, you can cut off a certain section for yourself so you can have a bunch of tiles for yourself so the others can't get to you, and if anyone does fall to your section, you can just cut them off as well. But if you guys want a little advanced technique for this game mode, you can jump and dive on every single one of the platforms, which gives you even more time, since the diving animation takes more time to register and for you to land on the platform than just hopping on the platforms as regular. This is all you basically want to do. There isn't a real secret to this one other than the mechanics I explained, and just pay attention to any players that are above and below you, because they may look to sabotage you by either cutting you off when they fall from above or cut off the tiles below you so that you fall straight into the slime. This also requires you to plan ahead of time and have an idea of which tiles below you are available to fall to by the time you're ready to go down a level. Next up is Fall Mountain, which is the most common of the final final maps next to Hexagon, and is the one where people struggle the most on because of the pathing and not being able to grab the crown at the end. So once the round starts, you want to go straight to the middle and go through the right path with the spinning obstacles, since it'll be open nearly 100% of the time. And then you are met with 2 directions to proceed up the mountain. You want to take the inner way most of the time since there will be less balls, but if you go through the outside, even though there will be more obstacles, there's a chance, like any of the other ways, that you completely dodge all the balls, because as they say, high risk, high reward. Once you reach the spinning hammers, you want to go to the 2 close hammers in the middle, because if either of them manage to hit you, you will go flying forward in the direction you want to go, rather to any other direction. And for every other hammer after that, you want to pass them on the side of the hammers they are moving, so you are less likely to get hit backwards, and again for the same reason, if they hit you, it'll be in the correct direction. Now for grabbing the crown. You do not want to die for the crown. Under any circumstances, do not die for the crown or you'll be bonked off and will not grab it. What you actually want to do is wait for it to lower to a point where you're able to run and jump once to grab it. Do not rush this, because most likely everyone else will panic and just rush this thinking they can grab it when they actually just fumble the bag and mess it up completely. So just be patient with this and grab it when it's low enough where you're actually able to grab it. For a more advanced technique to get to the crown faster, there will sometimes be a giant yeetus that will be in the middle just before you get to the crown. This will take a bit of practice to get down, but if you time this correctly, you can get to the crown quicker to be the first to grab the crown. But just to note, this hammer does not hit you straight to the crown so you can grab it in midair. It actually hits you towards the platform just before the crown, so you'll be able to reach the platform faster because of that risk you took. Remember, high risk, high reward. Now for Hexa Ring. There isn't that much to speak about since this is basically just like Hexagon, but it goes in circles and has fewer layers. There are 2 strategies you will need to use to be able to have the highest chance of winning on this map. The first is you want to stay as far forward as you possibly can without falling, so you can see exactly what is coming at you, so you'll be able to adjust accordingly and not be surprised at what's in front of you. Another reason for this is that if you decide to stay somewhere in the middle, you're at risk of falling off if you come to a section where you need to jump significantly, and you don't want that. You also want to take advantage of the hopping strategy we spoke about in Hexagon, but only this time you can't stay on the platform as long as Hexagon, and you want to skip one platform every time you jump so you're able to save platforms. You don't want to jump in a straight line, you want to jump in a diagonal direction so that you're actually able to skip tiles without having to dive in a straight line to actually manage to skip multiple tiles. And that's about it for this map. Just focus on yourself and try not to grief others, and you will have the highest % chance in winning this round. Jump Showdown is pretty simple. There aren't any insane tricks to this, but focusing on yourself is the key to winning this. In other game modes, you may have the time to screw with other people and grab onto them, but in this one, it is recommended that you do not try to troll other people, or else those people will start to troll you, and since 90% of the game is everyone being bunched together, it's not rare for this to happen. But one neat trick that I found is that if you find yourself in a situation where the bottom and top poles are exactly parallel to one another, you are actually able to jump and dive through the small gap between both of them. It's not always guaranteed that you can pull this off, but if you're put in this situation, you have no other options anyways, so you should just try this out and see if it works. You're also better off positioning yourself on the front of the tile, as it will give you the option to either jump from where you're at, and if that isn't an option because you're afraid the bar will hit you, you can run to the back of the tile to reposition, and by that time you can jump because the bar will provide a different angle for you to jump at. Now for Lost Temple. The one strategy you should use is just like the DoorDash minigame, where you let other people stay in front of you but don't get left that far behind, so if you see some people hit the wrong door, you're able to go through the correct door. But once you get close to the end of the race, stay close to the front so you have the opportunity to at least jump for the crown. And for the crown section with the lily pads, to be able to reach the crown faster, you want to dive onto the first lily pad and then instantly dive onto the next one so you're able to reach the crown and grab it before the other players. But if you're left too far behind, the strategy won't work, as you won't be able to reach it fast enough. And for roll off, I honestly suggest that you like the video and subscribe to the channel, because it gives you a 90% boost in chance that you don't fall off the map, and it makes the other players disappear. I'm just kidding, of course. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more Fall Guys content, and let me know in the comments what other things you want to see next. And now with that ad out of the way, let's get back into it and talk about roll off for real. At the beginning of the round, you do not want to do anything fancy and just focus on surviving, because since at the beginning of the round, the platforms are moving really slow, so you can't really do anything else other than survive and stay away from the other players. And about halfway into the round, the platforms will start moving faster, and this is where it starts getting tricky and most people start falling off. At this point, just like at the beginning, you want to stay away from everyone else, and most importantly, stay away from the edges to survive. And about 20 seconds later, the platforms start to move even quicker, and the slime also starts to rise quicker. In this phase, you just want to focus on your position by staying near the middle and survive. You also do not want to try to grief anyone else like you did when you had a chance in the first and second phases of the round. Also, only walk when crossing the platforms. You never want to jump, because because since the slime rises faster to the point where you're almost touching it, most likely if you jump across to another platform, you will flop and immediately get eliminated. So always walk across to the other platform if you're going to cross. Next up is Fumble, and this is going to be the next map we're going to talk about. And for this game mode, you do not want to chase people around because everyone moves at the same speed and you will not catch anyone by chasing right behind them. You actually want to go for the people who are already being chased around and cut them off because they won't be paying attention to anything else but what's in front of them. So if you cut them off, you'll be able to secure a tail and try to predict their movements, as they really only have a few options as to where they can go. And for juking people, you want to of course run away from people, but at some points you actually want to run into them because people will not expect that from you. They will most likely have in their mind that you'll just keep running until someone cuts you off, just like you did against the person you stole the tail from in the first place. But if you run into the crowd and jump over them, they will not expect it and you will juke everyone in your way unless you jump right into the crowd and get a stone like a dumbass. Then what the fuck are you doing? And for the final game mode we have Thin Ice. In this mode, you want to make a section for yourself so that you're able to cut off everyone else far enough so they're not able to hop over to your side. But since most people will probably have the same idea as you, you're going to have to push them off if they're standing near the edge of the platform. If they're not at the edge, you can cut them off just like in Hexagon, since some of the ice will be on the verge of breaking. You can then run a bit in front of them, which will break the ice and result in them falling if they're further behind you and not right on your tail. Then, just like in Hexagon, you have to take your time with hopping on each platform, or you can use the jump dive technique spoken about before and you'll be able to win this game just like that. And just like that, we've reached the end of the video. I hope you guys took something away from this video and understood how each strategy works and how you can implement them into your future games. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and like the video as well. And as always, at the end of every video, I hope you'll have an amazing rest of your day. And if you're already having a really bad day, I truly hope your day gets better. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you all next time.